Good afternoon, everybody. My grill that I bought with the house has gotten a little long in the tooth, and it is time to replace the guts. So here's a quick how-to on replacing the guts of your gas grill and making it work like new. So the first thing to do is to pull these heat tents up, get them out of the way. And you can see, like I said, this thing is old and probably lived a while without a cover on it. So these heat deflectors are in bad shape. What I got in my kit were 4 tubes, one of which, sorry for the noise, one of which has this extra flange on it. This is where the starter piezo ignition screws on. Now mine is bad, so I'm going to be replacing it as well, just not in this video. And then these are where you adjust your flame. You want mostly blue flame with a little touch of orange on the tip of the flame. You don't want it to be all orange and you don't want it to be all blue. So you'll adjust those accordingly if need be. Other thing is these crossover pieces. What they do is this goes on like this, as you can see, that with the tab up, and these bring flame across the front, as I'm assuming because the back tends to get a little hotter. And you can see there's extra holes in here for that gas to get caught and brought over, and that flame to come over. So since these are fairly universal, what you'll get is you'll get some pieces that are obviously different, and these can slide, be put inside of each other like that to create just the right size. In this case, you see that the back on this is still here and the front is open all the way across, so they would go like this. This one also comes with a longer piece for longer spans in between, and in that case you would take one of these guys and put them together like that, which I could do like this and get the right width. I believe I'm going to need to remove this front cover here because, as you can see, these definitely come all the way back into the control portion where the knob hooks up. So I'm going to have to get into here. So just looking at this piece down here on the bottom, there's a Phillips head screw and there's another one over here. So I will grab my Phillips head. Make sure that you grab Phillips head and not his feet. He does not like that, and it will mess everything up, as he'll be kicking and screaming and fighting you the whole way. We could need to service this sometimes, or usually, in gas devices such as this. Spiders will get in there and put a little spider web in, and looks like there's one more screw here. Spiders will get in and build a little web, as they are prone to do, and that'll disrupt the gas flow. So you definitely want to make sure if the gas flow is disrupted, nothing goes right. It flickers, it jumps, it bounces, it goes out. So if you have not used your grill for quite a while, that will likely be an issue. Now I'm just going to remove these, taking note of how these were set. That opening is just slightly wider than the screwdriver. Now we're ready to start putting things back together. So the first thing I'm going to do is compare what we had to what we have, and I like it. So I'm going to go this one since it was the toughest to get out. And voila, it goes right in. No problem. That doesn't seem to want to, the screw is not the right size to hold that in. And we only have one size screw, it would appear. So I'm going to have to come up with another solution to hold those in place. Point to note here, since we're going to have to put another one here and it's going to overlap with this one, I'm not going to put this in first. I'm going to start on one end or the other. Don't start in the middle. Glad I caught that when I did. I think I like the long with the short better. Seems to cover better. That way we get better coverage than we do with this one. So I don't like that one. See, it goes almost all the way in. Okay, all these are snug by using the screw and being ingenious and going through this part of the cotter pin. Since I don't use them for this anyway, now I have 4 extra cotter pins, bonus. Next thing to do is put this back on because there's a screw in the way, so I need to put this back on so that all the gas feeds go into the tubes properly. You can look in and make sure they're lined up, and then we'll give it a light. See what happens. Okay, I got the tank hooked back up and I'm going to give it a run. Like I said, the igniter was bad, so I have to order that. I wanted to take it off and make sure I ordered the right one, so I'm not going to do that in this video. But now that it's on, that's a pretty good looking flame. And you see how you can barely see it. You got mostly blue and a little flicker of orange. It's going to produce good heat. Yep, good heat. Looks pretty even. So now I can put the tents back on and we'll be ready to grill those steaks for tonight. I have the steaks marinating in a fantastic recipe that I just absolutely love. I think I put a little too much lemon in it this time, but oh well. Much more even. Let's see how they do once we put the tents back on it. Well, not back on it, but just on it. So we'll just pinch that over that. You can see how these have a slotted opening. So I'm just going to take and put it over one side and pinch it onto the other. And what that does is not only does it help keep grease from dripping down onto your fire directly and causing problems, or anything else from dripping down on there, but it helps to distribute the heat more evenly. So you'll get an even heat instead of centered in 4 spots. I don't know if you saw that, but sometimes when I'm lighting this, in order to keep gas from building up, once 1 or 2 is lit and the other one doesn't want to light, I just blow gently from one that's lit to one that's not lit, and it will push that flame across and get that going. So we should have a fairly even heat. Yeah, we do. We have a good heat distribution. It's not all centered right in the middle. It's the same all the way across. So now I'll just put the grates back on and we'll be cooking with gas. Hope you found this useful. Check out our other videos, like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and thanks for watching. Tell me that isn't beautiful. Look at those potatoes and onions. Steak is looking great. It's gonna be so good. The fat is rendering over here. It's not rendered yet, so that tells me the steak isn't done either. And you can see if you look right in there, it's red. So that tells me it's working just like I expected it to. Gonna be so good.